Welcome to the podcast. Title Talk with Corey. Now streaming. Stand by.
In T-minus 60
Hey.
seconds.
Good morning. Good morning. Today's Monday, June 3rd. Welcome to the Title Talk with Corey. Podcast streaming live Mondays at 11 a.m. for realtors, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, escrow people, anybody in the business. Jump on with me Mondays at 11. Stand by.
I got the world on my mind.
We're going to go over a few things today.
Corey.
Got special guest Liz Velasquez on.
Sooner or later, they'll see why I see why I got the realest
Stand by
flow.
for that.
Son of the dark, but I'm telling the endless flow. And it's ironic to me how a chronic MC can drop me before we drop the chronic CD. You see, it all started in the CPT.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
All right. Good morning. And the summer is upon us. We're getting ready to take on the heat this summer. It's June 3rd, Monday, June 3rd. This is actually episode 31 and of the podcast. I was dark the last couple of weeks. Memorial Day was last Monday. So I went dark, but then also we had a lot of we lost a really dear close family member, and so we took some time off, and now I'm back. So I hope you guys had a great weekend and are getting ready, ramping up for the summer. I know things are still a little bit strange. We got the election upon us, but there's a lot of things that we can do to be proactive and get ready, start farming, of course. So that's what I'm here for, and that's what I want to talk about today. We are going to bring Liz on from the office, my better half, of course, title operations manager for Pacific Coast Title, and she's over at the mothership in Glendale, Pacific Coast Title Company. So we're going to get her on the phone, and we're going to talk about a few things. I think we're going to talk about the supplemental tax bill a little bit, give you guys a little bit better understanding how that works, so you can convey that to your clients and what you can do from a title standpoint. So we talk about title here, and I know it's not that interesting. No, it is. But listen, hey, we have to I got to get out there and put the word out, because there's a lot of great stuff that I can share with you guys. I don't get to see everybody every week. I'm one of those reps that's really spread out. So I have clients really across California, and now moving across the nation. We're doing business in Nevada right now, Arizona, but we also have we teamed up with we got a sister company now that we're working with for national business. So if you're an agent anywhere in the country now, we can help you here at Pacific Coast Title Company. We have a national desk now, a national team to help support you. If you're a lender or a real estate doing business, across the country, we have a setup to do that now. So feel free to reach out to me by phone, 626-392-7993. That's my direct cell phone number. And you can also reach me by email, open@CoreyTitleRep.com. And please feel free to jump on the website as well. I have a landing page up there, www.CoreyTitleRep.com. You can book an appointment with me up there. And you got the links for my my social, YouTube, the podcast, everything's up there. And a lot of other great information. So I highly encourage you, if you're an agent, if you're in the loan business, if you're just, in the business, get up there, check it out. A lot of good stuff up there, a lot of good resources for agents as well. On the website, PCT.com. That's www.pct.com. And you got a lot of great agent resources up there that you can utilize. you've got documents up there, blank documents. A lot of times you guys have to execute documents, and we can help you with that as well. Um, there's a lot of great educational pieces up there, including the supplemental tax bill. I'm going to get Liz on the line a little bit, and we're going to go over that just a little bit, just to kind of refresh you, keep you guys refreshed. That's what we need to do. We got to keep ourselves educated, keep our swords, is that how you say it? Sharpened, right? Keep the tools sharpened, right? If you haven't started farming, you better go, get started now. That's what I'm here for. Aged absentee owners, great niche to go after. Owners who've held properties for 20 to 30 years. Great time to sell, right? For them, for an investor who's been holding for 20 to 30 years, reach out to me. I'll let you know how to get a hold of them. Okay, I can get you the farm material, and I can also show you through the amazing PCT Title Toolbox how to also use a filter. It's a premium filter that you pay for, but you can actually target for those phone numbers and email addresses. You can put your aged absentee farm right in there and push a button. Lo and behold, you get your email addresses, your phone numbers. That's a premium feature. Again, I have to give you a disclaimer on that. But if you didn't want, phone number, contact information, you can pull that right there free of charge. PCT Title Toolbox. I'm going to share with you a little bit of that today. So we'll go over that in a minute. If you guys don't have plans this weekend, by the way, Friday night, for those of you who know, some of you guys know me, I'm a musician, I'm a saxophonist. And so I'm going to be sitting in with some dear friends of mine over at the Poorhouse in Monrovia. And that's this Friday night, June the 7th. And it's going to be fun. So I want you guys to check that out. Sorry about that. I'm just going to try to see if I can share a little snapshot here. Let's see. So this is a little snapshot of the band here that I'm going to be playing with. You see here, Pacific Breeze Jazz, Charles Dollison, Munahito, all the way from Japan, and Bernard Williams, the renowned bassist. Now, Charles was on my podcast several months back. Very interesting story. If you didn't get a chance to listen to that, go check that out. A very well-known musician in the LA, Southern California area, dear friend of mine, and he has a really wonderful story. So check out that podcast. I don't remember which episode that was, but it's Charles Dollison. Anyways, we're playing there. I'm going to be, if you see on the flyer there, it says, well, you don't see it there, but it says, and special guest. So I'll be the special guest this week. They have a couple different horn players that rotate in and out. And so I'll be down there sitting in with them. Pacific Breeze Jazz live at the Poorhouse. Now, this is an early set. So if you are on the way home from work, it's Friday night, come down, have a drink, listen to some live music. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I'll be there. We'll hang out. And that's at the Poorhouse in Monrovia, 405 South Myrtle Avenue in Monrovia. So come check that out. And I think you'll have a good time. I think you're going to have a good time. So I'm going to go ahead and show the Pacific Coast Title. This is our PCT Title Toolbox. A lot of you guys probably heard about the Title Toolbox. This is our version of it, and it's amazing. So I really want you to jump on there with me. If you haven't reached out to me, let's get together. Let's do a phone appointment. I know I've got to do some today. I got some trainings that I'm doing on the Title Toolbox, and I can do that over the phone. I can do that through Zoom. Share the screen with you. I can also come to your office and do a full tutorial training class for your agents. If you're a real estate broker or a manager, manage an office, I can come out there and show you how to use this system. And especially if you have a team members, it's a great tool for them to use every day on a daily basis to help target sales. new sales, new listings. And I can show you how to do that. I know the app very well. This is a program that you'll use on your computer. There is a mobile application interface that goes along with it, which is fantastic as well. And we also have some really other, some great tools. We have a new mobile application that is just got updated. We have a fully new interface for our mobile application, and that's going to be awesome. Pacific Coast Title. I can't even remember the name of it, but it's Pro. I think it's PCT Title Pro. But anyways, we're gonna get that. I'm gonna do a full tutorial on that probably next week. I'm gonna see if I can get our marketing director, Jerry Hernandez. I've been trying to get him booked on the show again, and we'll get that up here and demo that for you. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get it. I'm gonna see if I can get Liz on the line right now, and we're gonna talk about a few things. So bear with me just a second here. So let's see if we can get her on.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So we're
Can
live.
you hear me?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay,
Perfectly,
great.
yeah. So anyways, I was just talking about maybe we could talk a little bit about the supplemental tax bill today. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we could talk about. Are you okay with that? Is there anything that you think you want to kind of share with people right now that?
Yeah. You know what? Let's go ahead and jump into the supplemental tax bill. So let me explain first a little bit of what a supplemental tax bill is and why it's generated. So what happens is, let's just say there's a purchase transaction and the people, like you said, have owned the property for 25 or 30 years. What happens is the assessor is allowing them to pay taxes based on whatever the property value was at one point, let's say 25 years ago.
Right.
So they could be paying taxes on a property that is now worth, $850,000, but was worth at one point $250,000. So the owner of the property has been paying taxes on only the $250,000. There hasn't been anything that has triggered for the assessor to reassess the property to a current market value.
Right.
Does that make sense so far?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So what happens is when there is a purchase or a transfer of ownership, that does trigger the assessor to take a look at that particular property or parcel and say, okay, the property is now worth $850,000. So we're going to adjust the tax bill moving so that the current owner, the new buyer, is now going to pay taxes on an $850,000 value property moving forward. So where the supplemental bill comes in is most of the time when the transaction closes, the sale of the property closes, it's not during the calendar year in which the assessor issues their tax bill. So the assessor issues their tax bill usually around October, late September, October. The first payment is due in December and the second payment is due in April. So their annual bill is generated during that period of time. So what happens is the assessor issues a one-time bill. It's not a recurring bill. It's a one-time bill that they refer to as a supplemental tax bill. And a supplemental tax bill is based on the amount of the increase in the value of the property. They prorate it from the time that they close the transaction to the time that the new year bill is going to be issued. So that's why it's a one-time bill. It's a one-time bill. There's a couple of important things to know about this. Number one is that it's a one-time bill. It's not a recurring bill. Number two is if you have impounded taxes where your lender is collecting for your annual taxes, if you have impounded taxes, a supplemental bill is not included in that.
Mm.
So it's really important for your agents to know, to explain to the clients that they're going to be getting a supplemental bill that they need to pay out of pocket.
Right.
I have a lot of confusion with that, and I have a lot of confused general public, that when they get a tax bill, they contact the title company or they contact their agent,
Right.
and they'll say, my taxes were supposed to have been paid, and how come they're not paid? And so
they don't.
really,
I'm just going to interject real quick. They don't
Yeah.
actually impound or take out those taxes in the impound account. They don't impound for supplemental
do
taxes.
not.
Okay.
They do not.
It's just a
Only
regular.
the supplemental.
Okay.
It's
right.
a separate bill. It's a separate one-time bill, and the consumer has to pay for it direct. So
Right.
a lot of people ignore it because they look at it and say, "Oh, this must be informational. My taxes are impounded," and then all of a sudden, a year later, they realize that there's a penalty, and then they wonder what happened. So again, it really would be very helpful for your agents that are listening or that will be listening to understand and explain to their clientele that this supplemental bill is going to be issued. Typically, it's issued, depending on which county you're dealing with, it can be issued anytime from approximately 3 months from when the transaction closed,
Mm-hmm.
even as far as maybe even a year afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, so it just depends on the county. But it's very, very critical for everybody, the consumer, to understand that it's not included in the impounds and they do need to pay it direct.
Mm-hmm.
So the part two of that is, once the supplemental bill is issued and now the person has lived at the property for a full year and they are now going to be getting a regular full tax bill that includes their name on it, that tax bill will now be showing that they are paying taxes on the current market value.
Right.
So if the tax bill, let's say the tax bill from the prior owner was only $2,000 a year because they were, only paying taxes on a property that was worth $200,000, it's also very important to know that the buyer is now going to be paying property taxes at a much higher level, because you're now paying taxes on a property that's worth $850,000.
Right.
So you get the one supplemental bill that you pay one time, and then your future tax bill is going to be for the higher amount. So most of the time when escrow closes and the lender works with the escrow, they are very well aware of that. So when they prorate for the impounds that they're going to be collecting for future taxes, they know that, and so they're including that and adjusting accordingly with your mortgage payment, however much they're going to collect or save for the taxes.
Now let me ask you: did they always? Is there always a supplemental tax bill on a sale?
Always.
Always. Okay.
Always. Yeah, there's always going to be one.
Okay.
It could be smaller, it could be larger, depending on how long the property has been
Right.
held for.
Right. How
So
long
some
it's
people could've-
gone up in
Yeah,
value? Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Some people could have bought the property 2 years ago and they're selling now, and the increase in the value is not very much. So the taxes may not change very much.
Right.
And if you get a supplemental bill, it might be small.
Yeah.
But in a lot of instances, when you're buying a home where the property has been owned by the same owner for 30 years, then expect a really large supplemental bill,
Yeah.
and then expect, your annual taxes to go up considerably.
I think that's a really good piece of information that should be conveyed
It
to
is.
agents, but also so that they can kind of prepare their clients. Now, is there some kind of calculator that helps to kind of assess what that supplemental bill is going to be potentially, so that they could, agents could alert their clients? Because that's a pretty, like, if you got clients who are, putting every penny they have on their sale, and then they got to come up with this huge supplemental bill. That's
No,
pretty.
it's incredibly powerful to know that information, because if I could tell you the amount of emails and inquiries that we get, phone calls after the fact, even from the agents asking, why did you guys not pay my clients' taxes? Because even they don't understand how the supplemental bill works.
Right. Guess who just joined the show?
Who did?
I said, guess who just joined the podcast?
I don't know who.
Apollo.
Who?
Apollo.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, he's right here.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, he just.
Hi,
snuck in
Betty. Hi, Betty.
there. Hi. Say hi to everybody out there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so it's really, really important information that I think it falls to the wayside a lot, and I think it's a critical piece of information, just like, for example, the statement of information and why that's important. So that's
Very
a whole
important.
other subject. We'll talk about that in a little bit, maybe. But
I like that topic.
But the supplemental bill is very, very critical for people to understand how it works, why it's generated, and that it's not included in your impounds, because that's the misconception that a lot of people have.
Yeah, that we're impounded for taxes.
And
We just bought the house. Our agent explained to us, or our lender, that we're impounded. We don't have to worry about the taxes. What happened? Did the title company not pay the taxes or something? They kind of freak out a little bit.
Right. So that's one, but also to know that it's a one-time bill. It's not a recurring bill.
Right.
It's not going to be something, additional that they will be paying after their annual tax bill. It's just a one-time, and it gets generated specifically as a result of the transfer of ownership.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and also, Corey, one more thing that I failed to mention with the hi Apollo. One more thing I failed to mention is that a supplemental bill can be also generated for other reasons. So here's something that's also important to know. If you already own the property, and let's say you add somebody under title with you, or you remove somebody from title, or you transfer it into your trust, or you transfer it from yourself to an LLC. If things are not specific on the documents that are being recorded, the county could potentially reassess your property value. So anytime that happens, they could potentially issue a supplemental bill.
Yeah.
We get a lot of calls asking, do you think it's going to get reassessed if I do this or if I do that? And I always try to give them the disclaimer that the answer is always potentially yes. However, I don't like to tell people no 100% it's not going to reassess, because it's not our call.
Right.
It's the assessor. So I always recommend to people, and I recommend for the agents to tell their consumer as well, to have them contact the assessor directly and run by them what they're intending to do before they do a transfer, just in case they don't want to get stuck with a big supplemental bill.
Okay. Well, that's really good information. And I know we have some more. We have some really good educational material up on the website on the supplemental tax bill, and I think we have some really good stuff on like Prop 19 and all that on the website www.pct.com. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, check it out. You could also give us a call, 626-392-7993. This is Corey, and you are listening to the Title Talk with Corey podcast. Special guest, Liz Velasquez, my wife. Anyways, so yeah, no, that's really good stuff. Really good information.
Yeah, honestly, those are gold. That's really important
It
information.
is. Yeah.
And we'll make sure other people after the show today watch it again and listen, because I do think that that's a really important subject. I'm glad that you suggested that we talk about it a little bit, because it is very important and very misunderstood.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that we see from a title standpoint. I had years and years of experience managing payoff You sat on a title desk. Now you manage, operations for Pacific Coast Title. And so, between the two of us, we've got a lot of, ground that we can cover and share with agents out there. Again, seeing things from a different perspective, from our perspective. I mean, just talking about the, the impound, the escrow accounts and all that. Some of the problems that I used to see when I used to manage, payoff, was, taxes being paid or overpaid or underpaid, right? And so the property tax seasons, or the installments that are due, the first and the second half installment, are December 10th, right? And then it's April 10th, right?
Yeah, the first installment is due by December 10th, and a second installment is due by April 10th. So to clarify what that means is that's another thing that I think we could talk about a minute is the annual tax bill is typically broken down into two payments. The first half, like we said, due December 10th, and the second half due April 10th. In some counties, and I couldn't tell you off the top of my head which counties they are, in some counties they are broken down into 4 payments at 4 different times of the year. But 9 out of 10 times, the counties that we all work in are local, and those are all twice a year, December 10th and April 10th.
Wow. So I didn't know that there was other counties that had.
Yeah.
So what do they call that? First, second, and third installment, fourth installment?
Yeah, they just break it down into four payments. Yeah, it's
interesting.
mostly counties that are up north. Yeah.
And if you pay it past that date, let's say you're not impounded for taxes, and you make your tax payment, you actually make your payment, and you're late on it, it's a 10% tax penalty, just so you know.
Correct.
Now the lenders, if you are impounded for taxes, and I know this because I used to manage payoff, if you are impounded for taxes, they're going to start paying those first half installments, starting like late October, right? And what they'll do is they'll pay those in bulk. So, they'll send, one wire transfer for $1.5 million or whatever, however many clients that they have at the bank. They send one wire transfer, and then they have like a special form or whatever that they submit that allocates those tax payments. But what ends up happening is we get close to, paying those, or they'll pay the taxes in late October. Those payoff demands come in from escrow, and, you're not sure, we're not sure, sometimes there can be a duplicate payment, or what can happen sometimes, in some cases, it's just a little bit more information for agents out there, just to be a little bit more mindful about how these loans are set up and how the impounds are put together. Sometimes a client may fall behind on their insurance payment, and they haven't made it. So what can happen is the lenders will force place an insurance policy, use funds out of the impound account. Now they don't have enough money to make the tax payment, right? And your account is overdrawn, and there's a deficit in the impound account. And what can happen sometimes is, we get close to paying off the loan, and there's a deficit that wasn't on the demand, and there can be problems. So, just another thing to be mindful of. Just make sure that, you're dealing with good escrow people, that you always have good current, demands, and it's probably going way off the subject.
There's a lot of little things, little things that can happen, and like I said, there's never a clear process for these things, for supplemental bills, for taxes.
Right.
So everything is, just every situation is different. Right. Every transaction is different. So you're going to encounter different things. I mean, after almost 40 years, I still learn something new about taxes every day. So, so it does vary all the time. But just remember that if you have a question, if you have a scenario, something that you want to run by us, call Corey or call me, and we're happy to get that information for you.
Yep. All right. Well, that's that's all really good stuff. Really good information. I think that's that's pretty good. We'll have to go over some more the SI. Do you want to talk about that today, the SI, or you want to save that for another day?
You know what? Let's do a whole
Yeah.
whole episode on that side
Okay.
because we really can.
All right. Next time I get you on, we're going to talk about the statement of information, the SI. Now that's a document that I'll just give you a quick, what that is, you guys are probably familiar with that. Your client fills that form out, it has a social security number and all their stuff in there. That goes to escrow. Everything's done confidentially through escrow and sent to us, and then we clear it. But it's really, really important that we get that really early on. And we'll talk about that in another episode. I'll get Liz on here and we'll talk about the importance of the SI. Well, thanks, Liz. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you later.
You're welcome.
For
You're
dinner.
welcome. Have a good week.
And yes, everybody have a great week. I'm gonna stay on here real quick, and we're gonna talk about a few things about farming, some farming tips. But thank you, Liz. She's gonna be she'll be back on again. We'll talk about some other good stuff. Some, like I said, the SI stuff. She's gonna be more, the inside. She share with you guys just a wealth of knowledge. She has a wealth of knowledge. She's my wife also, but she helps a lot of people out there, a lot of agents out there. There's not, a lot of title companies will say, and I'm not knocking anybody. I love everybody out there in title, but she's just one of those that goes above and beyond. There's something that she can do to help direct you in the right direction. She's going to help you as much as she can to help you close your deal. She's managing Pacific Coast Title Operations Manager here in Glendale. And we got some amazing title officers, Eddie Las Marias, Rachel Barcena, and a wonderful customer service team that I just want to shout out. Love you guys so much. You guys do so much for us. And anyways, getting back on the topic of the title toolbox, I was just going to, just share with you really quick a couple of things on here. And let me see here if I can get this loaded up on here again. So you'll see here this is a very a map oriented program, and we can use this to do a lot of different stuff. Okay, if you have a farm that you have in a spreadsheet, a CSV file or an Excel spreadsheet, you can take that farm and upload it into the title toolbox and then apply filters over your farm. And there's a lot of great farming features in here. And I'll just share with you just a couple of things that I like to run here on the PCT title toolbox. Again, I do a lot of training tutorials on this program because I really think this is just one of the most powerful programs out there. I think a lot of agents, I think if you're a working agent, whether you manage a team or you are one of the team members, this is something that you should know, that you should be using a tool every day to farm and target and stay consistent with. The more consistency with this, the more consistency you're going to have in your pipeline, just driving in new business, new sales consistently, and understanding what's going on in your farm territories. So what I'm going to do really quickly, like I said, this is just a map-oriented program here, and you can really take any area here. I'll just kind of move into the Pasadena area here. You can see I'm kind of just zeroing in. My tongue is tied. And what I'm going to do here is, I just got a notification. I got a meeting. I forgot to have a meeting here at 1:00. I'm going to go ahead and do a little boundary search on an area here of Pasadena. And I'll go ahead and zoom in. Again, this is a map-oriented program. And it's in real time. So you can see the Sierra Madre area, Arcadia. So right in here, we'll kind of use this area. What I'm going to do is, I think this is like the Linda Vista area. Use that area just as a sample. And I'm going to go ahead and drop a pin here. Move up there. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just creating a boundary. And I'm going to just to kind of see what's in the area. And I like to show clients this is what I do on a daily. I use this program every day. I have to get on here today and do a bunch of farming. So I've applied a boundary in the kind of Linda Vista area of Pasadena, just to kind of get how many records I pulled up here. 198 records. You can see right here in this little green area. I'm going to go ahead and expand this real quick. Again, this is just going to be a quick tutorial. I know I've been on for a while, but I really want to just highlight this program because I'm doing a lot of classes and training on this. I had Jorge Mesa, one of the great instructors here in title. He's a wonderful manager leader here at Pacific Coast Title Company, and he'll come out too with me, and we'll double team you guys, give you guys just a slew of information, a lot of education on how to target sales using this program right here, Pacific Coast Title Toolbox, the PCT Title Toolbox. All right, so in this area, I pulled 198 houses. Okay, I'm gonna apply some custom filters here. And I want to know here, I'm going to apply a next seller's algorithm, right? And, oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to run a next seller's algorithm on that little area there. And you'll see here, it says at the bottom, 9 properties found against that property. I mean, against that, that search boundary. Okay. And I can download those here. Now, that particular algorithm, the next seller's algorithm, that is based off of the average year of ownership held within that area. Okay, so they take that algorithm and they'll give you, if the average is, it looks like, 2002, they were last sold in 2002, 2004, 2003, right? So you're looking at about an average year held ownership in the Linda Vista area of about 20 years. Okay, and so it's going to take the average minus a year plus a year. So that's why you see 2002, 2003, 2004. Okay. So these 9 properties are considered next sellers. Okay. So you should, run these lists every day. You should be reaching out to them every day. Next sellers in different areas in your farms, understanding, who is primed to sell next. And then also, I'm going to run just another little thing here that I was sharing with you earlier. I'm going to do another little farm here, and that is the aged absentee owners that I was talking about. So what I'll do is I'll go back to farming here, and in this area search here, I know I clicked on custom filters, right? We did click custom filters. What I'll do now is we'll click on non-owner occupied and we'll put that filter on. Non-owner occupied is an absentee owner, right? And then let's see here. We're going to go ahead and well, what we could do is you can actually apply 2 filters over these. So I put on the absentee owner filter, the non-owner occupied filter on. And then you can also apply the empty nester filter. So that's 30 plus years of ownership. Now it's also 30 plus years of ownership, 3 plus bedrooms. But that's okay. That'll give you an idea of, okay, this is absentee owner. Someone's been holding property for 30 years, right? They don't live in the property. It's a great time to sell. These are great clients to go after, okay? Out of that list of 198 homes, there's only 1 in there that is 30 plus years, okay? And it's absentee owner. So yeah, you're going to get you're going to get less results, when you're trying to be more specific, but I'd rather have a quality lead, right, than to not have than to have a bunch of, data that is not non-specific, because you're just going to be wasting your time, wasting your money. It's a lot more efficient to be target specific when it comes to data and farming. Like I talked about, going after the divorces, affidavits of death that have been filed, um, notice of defaults, right? You're going after people who need help, who need to sell, because that's the kind of niche that you got to be into. The age absentees, 20 to 30 years of ownership, right? People who are behind on taxes. I mean, there's a lot of different niches that you should be targeting, because you got to be in that need to sell area. If you're targeting listings, okay. Anyways, that's going to be a wrap for today. It was a little bit all over the place today, but I wanted to share some good information up here every week. Mondays, 11 a.m. I want to share some good stuff with you, some good pointers, some good tips when you have deals in escrow, and how to convey some of this stuff, like the supplemental tax bill, how to share that information so that you can share and pass on to your client. The more information you have, the more valuable you are. And then also to help you a little bit on the marketing side with farming, with data, keep you guys sharp and out there hitting it hard every week, every day. Don't forget to reach out to me by phone, 626-392-7993. You can also reach me by email, open@CoreyTitleRep.com. Don't forget to to jump on with me next week, because I'm going to have some, I think we're going to talk about I'm still trying to book Jerry Hernandez, our PCT marketing director. And we can go over with you all the new features that the new mobile application has. You're not going to be disappointed. Please, jump on with us Monday, and we're going to hopefully give you a tutorial on that. If he's not with me, I will still give you that tutorial. And you guys have a great week. If there's, like I said, if there's anything I can do to help this week, if you have an open house, and you want to look for those next sellers, I can help you provide that, the next sellers list, all the absentee owners in the area. There's a lot of stuff I can do for you. So reach out to me. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good week.